Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the DBPower T20 mobile projector. This is a mini LED projector that sells on Amazon for sub $70, which is pretty inexpensive, and it features a full-sized HDMI port in addition to a VGA port for connecting smartphones, tablets, and computers, and for watching some quick home entertainment as well as for presentations. However, general performance obviously is not going to be as good as more expensive projectors and more advanced pico and laser projectors in the market, but this is a pretty good budget model to get started with. This is what the packaging looks like, and through the several generations of projectors that DBPower has worked on, you can see that it has evolved to a point where it looks a lot more expensive than it used to when we first checked out the projectors a few years back. So in the box here, there's access to just the projector itself. There's a quick start guide that is pretty well documented in full color, tells you how to set things up with various sources, a power plug, and a few other accessories. So here's a quick card that you can use to rate the company if you're satisfied with their product. Again, the user manual, which is extremely thick, but it's detailed and tells you how to set it up in multiple languages, and then also a quick start guide that is a bit shorter. Finally, there is the projector itself, which we'll take a look at the design in a moment. Set this off to the side. Under the projector accessories box, there is access to the aforementioned charging cable, in addition to a infrared remote, IR remote, and you also have access to a HDMI cable as a bonus gift. So it's a pretty nice value that you'll find in here. Finally, there's also access to a VGA adapter from this auxiliary port, so you can pop in a RGB cable if you have an older DVD player or something of the like that you still need to use with this analog input style. Setting this off to the side and taking a quick look at the remote that's bundled with the projector, it's also been updated since the last time that we saw a DBPower product. So you can see here this one looks a lot more modern and really reminds me of an Apple-designed remote. It's made out of plastic though, so it's still very lightweight and a slightly flimsy feeling, but there's this brushed look that doesn't attract too many fingerprints. It's overall pretty ergonomic and easy to hold, and there's easy controls for navigating up, down, left, and right, and OK through the main menu settings. There's also an input mode that you can use to select the various sources if you have multiple plugged into the projector at once. One that goes through the menu directly, powers the projector on or off, goes back through the settings, as well as changes the volume controls directly, so it's pretty easy to use. One limitation of an infrared mode though is it has to be in direct line of sight with the infrared sensor on the projector. So if you're located at another place in your house, in your kitchen, it's not directly aimed at the projector, it's not going to detect a key that you tap on the remote. In terms of batteries, we're talking about using two AAA batteries, which are not included, but they will last you for quite a while before you need to replace it again. Taking a look at the design of the projector itself, there is a built-in lens cap as part of the value that prevents the lens from getting scratched or damaged during transportation, but it's a little bit loose, so you have to kind of keep an eye out for this. What I like about the T20 is that DBPower has labeled all of the individual ports as well as the parts of the projector, so you know what to change for the focus, what to change for the keystone, for tilting it at a certain angle, and there's some warning signs for not looking directly into the lens printed in multiple angles. So all in all, it definitely looks a bit fancier and more expensive than previous generation attempts by this company. Otherwise, the company's logo is still stamped on the left-hand spine, along with access to the same set of controls for navigation, menu back, power, and settings that you found on the remote, along with LED indicators for power and status. The build of the projector is made out of this coarse plastic material that also doesn't attract too many fingerprints, which is nice to see. It feels pretty substantial and solid, and not as hollow as previous attempts either, so it is something that feels a bit more premium build. The sides features ventilation grills to prevent the unit from overheating. There are a few simple fans in here that will start to spin to also reduce the heat, so it's not completely silent unlike a Pico projector, and I'll show you that in a moment once we powered it on. But the side also features two USB inputs if you have a thumb drive loaded with music that you can start playback directly, a full-sized SD card slot for the same purpose, the aforementioned AV port, along with a 3.5mm headphone port if you don't want to use the built-in speakers that sound slightly tinny but still works, along with a full-sized HDMI port. The side features the VGA port, the infrared sensor. The back features the standard AC port, ventilation grills, and also a few rubber feet that prevents the projector from sliding around on a surface or a desk. There's also a screw here that you can use to pop in an optional accessory that tilts the projector at a slight angle for easier viewing if you are, putting the projector on the floor and have to tilt it upwards to reach a wall that's at a certain angle. That's going to make that process slightly easier in conjunction with the keystone function. So let's power this on and take a quick look at the software and performance side of things. Here we have the projector plugged in, and this is what the default UI looks like. You can see it's pretty easy to navigate and understand. You can toggle between functions like playing back videos, music, photos, and text files directly loaded on a thumb drive, or if you plug in a SD card or a micro SD card. Simply using the navigation controls on the projector allows you to toggle and move between these screens. I can also change things through the settings of the projector, such as for power, after how many minutes does the projector go into standby mode, the adjustments for the volume of the built-in speakers, aspect ratio, brightness, contrast, so on and so forth. So it works pretty well. And actually the resolution here is surprisingly good. It's not anywhere near a full HD projector, but you know, for a 480 by 800 resolution projector, it looks a lot better than I expected. Right now we're in a half lit room with some ambient light in the background, but the screen itself is still very visible. It's projected at a virtual screen size of roughly 70 inches right now onto a ceiling. This is what you're looking at. Kind of wave my hand above the camera here, and still remains pretty vivid and easy to see. So if you want to pop this into a room for watching video clips with your friends and family as you fall asleep maybe, this is actually a pretty good application. So if we want to take a quick look next at some sources that we can tap on. Let's go into the HDMI mode. So right now we're plugged into a laptop computer, and hopefully it will find that source and pop that onto the screen. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like when I have a actual laptop screen projected, maybe for presentation purposes. Text is definitely still legible, but if you zoom all the way in, you'll definitely notice a bit more of pixelation. So it's not exactly as clear as watching video clips, which can do with a bit more fuzziness. But overall, really not too bad. And again, you can definitely still read the majority of your text for giving presentations, and the images as well are pretty well balanced and saturated. So for hooking up a computer or a tablet for giving presentations, it definitely still works as well. So all in all, that's been a quick video first look and a quick review of the DBPower T20 mobile LED projector. Overall, definitely an improvement over previous generations, both in clarity as well as the simplicity of the built-in UI, and also the build quality of the unit itself. There's still a slight amount of noise in the background. If you listen very closely, you can hear the fan, and obviously it's still not as crisp as a full 1080p projector, but at this price point, I think it's a worthwhile investment if you're looking for something ultra cheap when taking with you on the go for quick vacations, for quick video clips, and watching videos with friends and family, and maybe a presentation or two. Thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. This is the DBPower T20 projector.